everybody. Today we're going to be doing a lyrical analysis of Where I Am. This is, I guess, one of the more abstract songs on the album. Um, the producer that I work with, his name is Tony. He didn't make the beat. Guy who actually made the beat is, his name is Reese. I'll have links to all his information down at the bottom. But I really like this beat. I found it on his SoundCloud. And I really, really liked it. And I really wanted to do something different with it because it's not like a lot of the things that I've done before. I wanted something more abstract, and I wanted something slower with a lot of like up and down. You know, it seems to be like the up and down is a really general overarching theme to my album. So with this one, it starts off really slow, and then it picks up a pace, and then it explodes into the, I guess, third part of the verse, and then it dies back down for the chorus, picks up again, and then really picks up again and goes back into another instrumental chorus. I also didn't want a chorus for this song. I didn't feel like it needed one. I felt like it just needed to be a story and something that you just sit down and listen to. You know what I mean? Almost like the chorus area where there's an instrumental, and that's I don't know what the sound is, but almost like that is giving the listener a break to kind of recount and figure out what just happened in the verse. Almost, it's kind of like a break period where you're just supposed to sit there and kind of like think about what you just listened to, I guess, is the best way to put it. No words, just a melody that kind of is intriguing while also, keeping you interested in what's going to happen next. But let's jump into it. When I was writing this, interesting little thing, when I was writing this beginning, because I usually, a lot of songs that I write are more, I guess, upbeat, and they're really wordy. I say a lot of things in a small amount of time for most of my songs. It's pretty rare that I slow it down and, are precise with words, I guess you could say, like really simple phrases and simple sentences. So I wanted this to be like not really sung, I guess, but definitely slower along the lines of a song. How like most songs only have like a few lyrics per line, and then they go on to the next one. But when I was writing this, because I couldn't like wrap my brain around how to do it slowly, I had to underline every word where there was I guess a guitar hit or whatever that sound is, bass hit or something. So I had to underline. I was like, when I sit and I think, I had to underline the word to remember like that's where I need to be when that note hits. It was really awkward to sit and write it because it was so hard to like only have like 6 or 7 syllables per line versus like 20 plus or whatever it is that I usually have. So that was fun, and it was definitely challenging, that's for sure, because I'd never written anything this, I don't want to say simple, but simple structured, I guess, with this minimal amount of words. But the story, the overarching story of the song is, the first verse is about, it's I guess kind of about me personally, but it's more like, there are like hints, I guess, like little pieces of information that are sort of true, sort of not true. But it's about a story about getting to where you want to be, and this is obviously through music. Getting to that point where you're just where you can take care of everybody and everything's good. You're a little like messed up in the head, but it's all good because you're going to get there and you're going to take care of everybody and everything's going to be good. And then it's about the downfall of that, where you've sacrificed everybody's like, you've sacrificed everybody and everything, like everybody in your life, like you've given up a lot of time with them to do this, and that obviously has some bad sides to it, of course. Anyways, let's jump into it and let's start breaking down these words and things. All right, so when I sit and I think of how far I have come, I wonder how I ever managed to get along. Unsureness, like how did you even get to this point? Like how am I sitting here? How did I even, how did you get there? what are the events that led up to you sitting here right now, like writing, especially like writing the song. Like, you know, a lot of this has to do with me thinking back. Like, I was writing the song. Man, this entire album honestly was written during night shift at a hotel that I used to work at. And I just was wondering, like, how did I get to this point in my life where I've been working at night shift for like 3 years at a hotel, working graveyard, and all I do is like stay up all night and sleep all day. Like, how did I actually get here? Like, really? Like, this is where I've gotten to from, 22, 23 years of my life, and this is like where I've gotten? I don't know, it's interesting. And in my dreams, I can recall every decision ever made, all the times I stepped ahead and the times I ran away. This is just about, through life, I guess you make decisions that you either confront head on and you face them, or you turn away and move on. And I know we've all had our fair share of like, yes, I can do this, and I can't really do that, so I'm just going to pass. So whether it be like something grand and like, getting up on a stage in front of a bunch of people and doing something, or, just as simple as not talking to somebody or going up and talking to a girl or a guy or whatever. But that's all that's about. Let's see. I know I'm not perfect, and I know I have my issues, and I know I'm just a strike away from medication samples. I don't, this line, I guess for me personally, I think we've all kind of felt this way at some point. Maybe not all of us, but I'd say a good portion of people have felt this way. They're just like, man, some days, like, it just would be easier to just be medicated and just be good. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm sure that my friends and everybody around me are just waiting for me to like screw up, because they know I'm like borderline either out of my mind or, losing it or snapping, because it's like I was at a really low point back when I was working night shift. Man, everything goes back to that goddamn hotel, I swear. Anyways, but it was wearing on me, when you work all night and you sleep all day and you don't really hang out with a lot of people, and you're just kind of like alone at a constant, you just have your own thoughts to kind of wallow in. It just wears on you slowly but surely. It does, and that's where I was at a pretty low point, and I was just like, you feel like you're gonna like crack any day, but you just keep going just because, more or less, and there's nothing, and you just get to that point where you're just like, man, if I like, one of my friends is going to say something to me one day, and I'm just going to be like, I'm just going to snap for no reason. And then, then parents are going to come in, and somebody's going to get called, and you're going to get strapped to a table somewhere. And then, it's all downhill from there. And I know I have my problems, and that's why I'm always by myself, because the rhythm in my head is too syncopated for your help. This is just feeling like, I don't want to say better than, but not better than everybody or better than other people, but definitely on a different wavelength. You know what I mean? Like, if everybody's following path A, you're just kind of like bouncing back and forth between path A and C. So you just like hit them every now and then, and it's that feeling of being syncopated, like out of sync with everybody else, like still on track and on a path, but I guess off a little bit. Well, not off like off time, but you're just on a different wavelength. You feel like different from everybody else. I also, one interesting thing, I did break these down individually, so the rhyme schemes were a little bit easier to see. So hopefully that'll help discerning what's going on. Let's see. When I brought him something, caught him bussin', muggin' like I got a nothing, but in running gums and huffins, brought in dozens at a constant summon. So from this, you're feeling really down about yourself, and you're just like, man, like, what's going to happen? Like, I'm going to snap at any second. And I'm just on a different wavelength from people, and I just don't understand how anybody operates, and I'm just, like, alone, more or less. And then this is when it kicks into, like, music. It's when I brought him something, coming out with, like, a song. You've got, like, the song that you think is really good, and you're just like, hey, guys, check this out. Like, look, this is my redemption. Look, I've been, like, miserable forever, but I'm coming out, and I've got this. Caught him busting, mugging like I got a nothing. So people like, no, you're shit. Like, just stop. You just need to give up. Like, it's bad. But in running gums and huffins, brought in dozens at a constant summon. So here's where the redemption comes in. And this is where it's like, look, I brought this song. People have like shit on me like constantly, and it's awful. But you just keep going at it, and you just keep trying and keep trying, and eventually, dozens of people come in. Like whenever you summon them, like it's just like summon them, meaning like you throw out songs or you do whatever, you videos, shows, whatever. You just have hundreds of people just coming to you because you're putting out music, and it's just like, look, I worked my ass off. You guys said it was shit in the beginning, but then I worked my ass off and it's all good. Now I'm like here and I've accomplished something. And then it goes back into the past and it says, when I started rapping, it was all. It's kind of like, I guess, validating yourself more or less. Like, look, when I started doing this, it was all that I wanted to do. You know, got to get a run and never crawl. So you hit it, you go 100% fully, constantly, every second of every day, and you get it, you accomplished it, you know what I mean? I don't want to be the one to stall what I got to do to make them fall. I really like this part too. These lines coupled with these lines, I think they sound really cool. I don't want to be the one to stall what I got to do to make them fall. Stall meaning obviously stop, slow down. So you don't want to stop. You don't want to give up. You don't want to just sit by and let things pass you by and, you know, be passive about everything. What I got to do to make them fall, it's about those people in the beginning. How do I tackle these people? How do I get past them, and how do I, you know, get to another level that they can't reach at all, and take them down? Obviously, you know, you're just like, they've got all these bad and terrible comments, and you're just like, listen, I got my shit, you got yours. Like, you come to me, and then I'll just wreck your face, I guess. Let's see. It was a day one water pistol, lame song, gutter crystal, same wrong, rage on, brain gone, utter fizzle. So saying that in the beginning, this is more or less true, I guess, about myself personally. This is more like reflective than some of the rest of it, because there are bits and pieces of me talking about myself and then talking about like not a fake person, but, you know, like an idea or a concept, I guess. It was a day one water pistol, meaning that there wasn't a lot behind it. It was a water pistol. It's not a real gun. It's, you know, fake, and it just shoots water. So it's like simple. Lame song, gutter crystal. Lame song, bad songs, pretty straightforward. Gutter crystal meaning like the gutter. It's like saying a diamond in the rough, but a different way to say that. Yeah, a diamond in the rough, like you know, in the gutter, but you're shining bright, like the stars. It was a day one water pistol, lame song, gutter crystal, same wrong, rage on, brain gone, utter fizzle. When I first started writing, I was like angry for no reason. There was like no reason for me to be angry at anything, but that teenage angst, I guess, coupled with listening to hip hop music, I guess, kind of worked, or kind of meshed and made it what it was. But back then I was listening to a lot of ICP, and just, I guess it influenced me more than I thought it did, I guess, at the time. Because, you know, there was this misplaced anger and unnecessary hate for basically nothing. So that's what this is on. Same wrong, rage on, brain gone, utter fizzle, meaning that, you know, you're just out of your mind. It's just like, what are you even talking about anymore? And then obviously utter fizzle, meaning that it didn't do anything and nothing happened. Coming out the bottom, but I am standing like a man when I can, running with a pen in my hand, gunning for the top, I'm a stand. This is pretty straightforward. You know, you're aiming for the pinnacle, you're aiming for the peak, and you're not going to stop till you get there. And anybody that's in your way is just going to get, you know, moved. You're gonna forcefully move them out of your way and either take their place or keep going to a place that they can never get. I'm a stand up on my feet, luck never need, clutch what I breathe, fuck ducks that huff such rough deeds. I'm a stand up on my feet, obviously not be held up by anything else, you know, do it yourself. Luck never need, skill based rather than just chance. Instead of leaving everything up to chance and hoping that maybe something will happen someday because the universe has aligned for me specifically, you know, 5 years from now or whatever, it's doing it yourself and making it happen rather than waiting. Clutch what I breathe. It's about being real, more or less. Um, Anything that you say, hold on to it, make it be about yourself, and make it true and make it believable. Um, without, don't be fake. That's the simplest way to put it. Just don't be fake. Just do you, and that's about it. Because that's all you can do, really. Fuck ducks that huff such rough deeds. This is a line that throws back to Duck Duck Goose, oddly enough. So you've got the ducks. It's a fuck ducks that huff such rough deeds. Like, they just sit there and they don't do anything. They just sit in a circle and they wait to be called on, and that's their deed. They just kind of sit there and they just wait. They're not doing anything. They're just hanging out. If somebody calls on them or tags them or whatever, then they get up and go. But other than that, they're just sitting there and they're just waiting for something to happen. And it's about not doing that. Don't do that. Don't just sit around and wait for something to come to you. Go out and do it. I know this is only my first step. I go against the rhythm, no more blindness. I don't expect to make it out alive. I won't ever sever what's inside. This whole verse is kind of about like starting out and then moving up. So I know this is only my first step. Like, this is my first real attempt at something. I understand that. Like, I get it. I understand that this is only my first attempt. I'm not expecting everything to like explode and be amazing instantly. That's fine. I get it. It's a lot of trial and error, especially in the beginning. I go against the rhythm, no more blindness. The hell was I thinking when I wrote that? I know this is only my first step. I go against the rhythm, no more blind. Oh, that's right. About like going against, I guess, the current of everybody. In understanding and seeing that maybe flowing with everybody else isn't exactly the ideal or perfect scenario. So when you go against that, maybe you can make your own lane. Don't let the flow of everybody blind you or cover up your eyes from making your own lane and doing your own thing. Instead of being boxed in, just break out and do what you got to do. I don't expect to make it out alive. I won't ever sever what's inside. This is about getting to that point where you get famous, or you get to wherever you feel like you need to be, and it pseudo like kills you. You lose part of you along the way. You know what I mean? You've got all these like morals and ideals locked up, and then when you get somewhere, somebody's going to offer you money to do this, and you're going to be like no, but then they're going to offer you more money, and eventually you kind of have to, you don't have to give in, but I think a lot of people do give in, depending on, I think everybody has maybe not everybody, but I'd say a lot of people have a price, you know what I mean? And that's what that's about, just giving up a piece of yourself to get more money or whatever it is. I won't ever sever what's inside. This is just about, maintaining who you are, or at least doing the best that you can to maintain who you are. Don't fully give up on it, you know what I mean? Everybody's got who they are, and losing that 100% is, I guess the ultimate bad thing. That would be terrible, doing a complete 180 and becoming a completely different person just because you have a lot of money or fame or whatever. I won't ever sever what's inside. This is I come with a gun, better run when I stun. Clever gums in my tongue, forever one in a ton. Never run, never done, but I will always remember. Being a hard ass, coming with this feeling, coming with a force, pushing in and not stopping. Better run when I stun, get out the way, because I'm coming. I'm bringing all this behind me, and you're in the way. You've got two options. You can either join me or you can get the hell out of the way. Clever gums in my tongue, forever one in a ton. Clever with words. Clever when you talk, when you speak. This is just about like lyrics and writing, and just songs in general. Forever one in a ton. It's like saying 1 in a million. Another way of saying 1 in a million, you're an individual. Never run, never done, but I will always remember. Not running away, Obviously, there are times when stepping away is a good thing, but never running and never backing down is what this is more about than giving up. So it's not backing down. Never done, always keep going. But I will always remember this line leading into the chorus is about remembering all the shit that you went through. So all these lyrics and all this nonsense and everybody in your life is you're always going to remember them, and you're not ever going to forget them. You know, everybody that you come across in your life at one point or another has had an impact on you, or changed or altered the way you thought of something. And it's about always remembering those people. And then it drops into the chorus, which is just an instrumental, like I mentioned earlier. I didn't want anything fancy. I did want it to be kind of reflective, like I said, but just something that kind of brings the mood down and levels out and gives you a chance to really just think about what's happened, think about where you are. I also really like, I ad-lib a lot of the chorus when I do the song live, so it gives me a chance to like say different things, or, you know, I can basically do whatever I want during this chorus. I can say whatever I want. I generally try to keep it like more or less condensed to, you know, like, hey, we made it. Look, this is it. We've got here. We've got all this money. We can do whatever we want to do. We can go here. We can go here. I can get you this and this and that and that, and I can take care of you and all that stuff. As kind of like a throwback to like, hey, look, we did it. Continuing from the first verse, and then it moves into the second verse, and it slows down again. Again, I did have to like highlight all the words that I had to hit on the note or beat or whatever. And now I sit and I see how I got this way, all the people that I loved and those I have betrayed. So as we're going into the second verse, before I go over these two lines, keep in mind that this is the downward slope of getting famous. So we've got this huge build up from these first words, or from these first bars, lyrics, of building up, which is why the first verse is so much longer as well. It's much longer than the second verse. But you got this build up going into like getting famous and remembering where you came from and getting all these people, pushing them all out of your way and maintaining and doing it the best you can and rising to the top. And you have this chorus that kind of like hangs there, and it's not really sad, but it's not really happy either. It's kind of like this weird medium. And then as we come into the second chorus, you've got this downward slope until the end of the song. Now I sit and I see how I got this way, all the people that I loved and those I have betrayed. So this first line right here throws back to this line right here. When I sit and I think of how far I have come, I wonder how I ever managed to get along. This is understanding like, man, now that I've had this time to like get here, I have all this extra time, and I can just sit and I can just like, I finally figured out like how I'm this way. Like, am I a bad person? Am I a good person? What am I truly? All the people that I loved and those I have betrayed. So obviously along your life, you have loves, people come in and people come out of your life. You screw over people screw you over. It's just like that's just how life happens, I guess. You know what I mean? You can't be 100% nice to everybody, and everybody's not going to be 100% nice to you. So it's just this back and forth of just nonsense. Forgive me for my sin, but I never meant you harm. That the agony is heavy. I will heal you when I'm done. So you've sacrificed all this time in the first verse, giving up on so many like events and situations that you could have been in, birthdays, Christmases, family gatherings, friendships, going out to the bar or hanging out with friends or whatever. You've sacrificed so much time to get to the point where you're at. And now that you have all this extra time to sit and wonder, like, where is everybody? What's going on? You're starting to understand. You know, you didn't mean to hurt anybody. And, like, it's apologetic. Though the agony is heavy, I'll heal you when I'm done. Like, when I get done doing this, music stuff, and I have, a nonsense amount of money that I can just do whatever, I promise I will I will pay it back and I will make up for it, and you just have to trust me until that point. This part right here, these lyrics are probably some of my most favorite lyrics that I've ever written. Like personally, I like I really enjoy these lyrics right here. I really like the rhyme scheme, the words, the the ow sound, and the illin sound. Man, I think it flows super well and it's super nice. Let's see. Minutes turn to hours, now the winter's killing all the flowers. Sip it, liquid power will allow me to devour illin downers, killing clowners for spilling doubtwards. I'm feeling downwards, but willing to still it for a minute to give an hour. Okay, so this, I mean, I guess when you really sit down and like look at it, maybe it's because I know what the words mean. It doesn't seem as complicated, but I guess when you hear it for the first time and it's like, minutes turn to hours, now the winter's killing all the flowers, sipping liquid power will allow me to devour illin downers, killing clowners for spilling downwards and filling downwards, but willing to still it for a minute to give an hour. It sounds really like, what the fuck just happened? At least that's what I hope happened to people. You know what I mean? They're just like, holy shit, let me rewind and replay that. Minutes turn to hours, now the winter's killing all the flowers. So time is passing and you're just sitting and you're just wallowing in this like misery, and it's just like, listen, I'll get this done. You just have to give me time. And winter's rolling over, and then it's the next year, and then the next year, and the next year, and there's just all this waiting, and there's just time is just passing, and you're just missing out on all these things. Sip it, liquid power will allow me to devour illin downers. These two lines actually go together. Liquid power, obviously, I mean, I don't drink personally, but be it anything, alcohol, energy drinks, even drugs, I guess. Liquid, I mean, not really liquid, depending on what it is. But it's getting energy or getting the fight from something else that's not you personally. So you're having to get an external resource to actually give you energy to do anything. Sip it, liquid power will allow me to devour illin downers. So people who are like getting down on you, beating you down, and it's about needing that extra energy or extra outside drug or alcohol or whatever to beat these people back now, because you've hit that point and now you're just like, holy shit, like I wasted so much time like doing this when I could have, been with my family or with people and, doing things and having experiences with them. And now you need this to actually come up and do something. Killing clowners for spilling downwards. I'm feeling downwards, but willing to still it for a minute to give an hour. So you're feeling miserable, but you still have people who are just like talking shit to you, and you still have to like get up. Maybe they're not talking shit about, what you've accomplished, but now you're just like a shitty person. So now they have that to target at you. So now they're hitting on you for that. So they're spilling doubt words, spilling doubt words. They're making fun of you, and they're just like, look, like you may have all this money and you may have all this fame and stuff, but that's about all you have. You have nobody else around you. I'm feeling downwards, but willing to still it for a minute to give an hour. So you've hit this point where you're just like absolutely miserable, and you've sacrificed so much time. But even in the back of your mind, whether or not it's true, you're going like, look, just ask me and I will stop everything that I'm doing and I will give it up, and I'll give it up all right now, to have you, or to have it all back, to have, experiences with other people, be it your family or a child or brother or sister or significant other, whatever. It's just like, listen, I'm feeling terrible right now, but I will set that all aside just for you. But it also, I don't know, now that I'm reading it, it also seems like willing to still it for a minute to give an hour. So giving it up, but only temporarily, because you kind of know that you can't. I mean, that's an interesting interpretation. Now that I'm like sitting down and really rereading the lyrics, it wasn't intentional at the beginning, but I could understand how that could get brought up, and I do like that too. um, that I'll give you an hour, but that's it. Then I got to get back. I can't sacrifice any more time than that. Like, even though you realize that you're a shitty person, it's almost like you can't give it up. Like, you just keep coming back to it, and that's it. Let's see. I'm not wrong, am I? For dumb songs can I be undone? Will I see some love? You know, now you're sitting by yourself and you're wondering, like, am I wrong in this situation? Am I wrong for sacrificing all this time and all this energy on people to focus on what I wanted to do so that I could repay it back later? Is this, like, I'm not wrong, right? That was the correct move. Like, sacrifice time now for time later. Like, that's not a bad thing. For dumb songs can I be undone? Will I see some love? Like, so will I see some love? Is anybody gonna come back? Like, I'm not wrong, but people are gonna come back to me, right? Like, there's somebody out there who's like waiting for me. It's really like up and down. Like, you know, I'm not wrong, am I? I really like that line. I'm not wrong, am I? Or am I? Because I don't feel like I'm wrong, but it seems like everybody else thinks I'm wrong. But I did it for, you know, a specific reason. Am I ever gonna make it up to you? That's why I'm sitting in this room. Tell me what I gotta do to get a better point of view. You know, unsuredness. Am I really ever gonna make it up to you? No matter what I do. Is this ever going to be enough? Is sacrificing the time and the moments worth the long-term financial stability and making moments later? Is that okay? Do I need to get a better point of view? Is how I'm thinking about it completely wrong? Because if it is, then maybe, you know, you need to come to me and tell me what's going on. Tell me what's wrong. But even if you do, it's almost like the person doesn't want to believe it. Even if somebody was to come to it and just be like, look, dude, you're a shitty person. You've more or less ignored us for the last couple years. You know, we're still here for you if you want us to be, but we can't wait around forever. So what are you gonna do? And then, you know, the person sitting there is just like, I don't know. Like, I'm doing this for a reason, you know. Do you guys not appreciate it? Or am I just, like, completely in the wrong for everything? Like, have I just been wrong since the beginning? Like, where's the balance? What do I need to do? And even if you tell me what I need to do, am I going to do it? Do I believe that is that a better point of view? But yeah, that is where I am. And then it drops back into another instrumental chorus and then it fades out. What I do like about the instrumental choruses too is that coming off the first verse, it gives you this feeling of not unsuredness, but it's like a neutrality. You know what I mean? Like, you have all this, like, you know, not anger, but like, yeah, I'm going to get stuff done and I'm going to accomplish so many things and look where I've come from and all this stuff. And then it comes into the chorus and it's just like neutral, but you're still like, yeah, that was awesome. And then it drops into the second verse and you just have this slow downward slope where it just gets more and more miserable as the verse goes on. And it drops into the chorus again and it's still like neutral feeling and you don't know whether to be unhappy or glad or sad or whatever. It's just like this mix of emotions, like confusing the listener as much as the person in the song is confused. And then it drops out from the chorus again into the slow music of the initial verse or initial part of the first verse. And it's really just a super up and then down and then way down song. I could understand not getting, unless you sit down and like really listen to it. I'd say on the first listen it would be hard to pick up on a lot of stuff just because a lot of the words are really crushed together, especially like these parts. Like when I started rapping, it was all gotta get running, never crawl, you know, and breaking down lyrics as you're listening to them. Obviously isn't the easiest, isn't even possible because you don't even know what's going to happen. But I hope on multiple listens, like there are hints and people will start to understand like where I was coming from and the idea behind the song. Yeah, I really like the song. I think I really like the shortness of the second verse, the length of the first verse, the changes. I don't know. I really like the song. I do. It was really fun to write. Really, you know, complicated. Maybe not lyrically complicated. I guess, you know, because it's my song, I feel like it's not lyrically complicated. But I really like it. These lines are really nice. Oops. These lines are really nice. These mirroring these, you know, with the when I started rapping was all and coming out the bottom, but I am up on my feet, luck never need, lame song, got a crystal, same wrong, rage on, brain gun, having this duplication of a rhyme scheme, kind of, like sort of, I guess. Yeah, I really like the song. Hopefully you guys liked it too. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not sure what song I'm going to do next, but we'll figure it out eventually. If you haven't heard this song, I don't know why you waited to the very end of this video to go listen to it. There will be links in the description, and hopefully I will have another one of these out soon. But thanks for watching, guys. This was Where I Am.
Meant you harm, though the agony is heavy. I will heal you when I'm done. Minutes turn to hours, now the wind is killing all the flowers. Sipping liquid power will allow me to devour Ileanas, killing clowners for spilling downwards. I'm filling downwards, but willing to still it for a minute to give an hour. I'm not wrong, am I? For dumb songs, can I be undone? Will I see some love? Am I ever gonna